If you have clicked on this video, the chances are that you are finding yourself in a state called tutorial hell. A state where you feel like you are doing something, but you are getting nowhere. We have all been there, and I know how it feels to be immersed in all those coding tutorials that promise to learn a concept just by watching a video. But that is just not the case. Now, don't get me wrong, I am not saying that all those tutorials are bullshit and you cannot learn anything from them. Most of the coding channels out there do a really great job in providing valuable information about coding. You see, the real problem is your approach. You think that by clicking on a video and by watching it till the end, you will automatically grasp everything you are seeking to learn. But in fact, what those videos do is introducing you to a concept just by showing you some coding examples on how to do a specific thing. Now, as I said, the real problem is your approach. But why do we fall into that state? You see, the truth is, tutorials feel safe. Someone else has already solved the hard problems for you, and all you have to do is just follow along. It feels productive, but in reality you are avoiding the discomfort of figuring things out on your own. This can lead to what's known as the illusion of competence. You think that you have learned something just because you have seen it done, but without real-world practice, it just doesn't stick. That is why you have probably experienced this. You watch some tutorials on, for example, JavaScript, and try to follow along by doing the same things as shown in the video, but when you start applying it to yourself without a tutorial, it suddenly becomes much harder. Now we have discovered why we fall into this state. The next step is to know how to escape tutorial hell. Escaping it requires a mindset shift. It's not about perfectly following someone else's steps, it's about taking what you have learned and experimenting with it. And how to do that? Start by building something small. Most likely you would choose something like a to-do list or a personal website where you can showcase your portfolio. But it really doesn't matter what you do as long as you are doing the thinking part by yourself. You are obviously allowed to use tutorials when you are stuck, but just not as a step-by-step guide. Another thing that you can do is embrace the struggle. Instead of watching those tutorials, start by doing the problem-solving part yourself. You can use online documentations, Stack Overflow, GitHub, and therefore experiment with different approaches. You just have to know that struggling is a part of learning. In fact, reading the code other people use to solve a specific problem in communities or platforms like Stack Overflow, Reddit, or GitHub can be very beneficial because then you are starting to think, why did you choose this approach? Or why is this even working? What you are actually doing is thinking. Another thing that you could do after finishing a project is asking yourself, what did I learn? Or what could I have improved? You could even journal any experience that you have had building this specific project. What you are doing is reflecting, and by doing it you reinforce your knowledge and therefore you feel ready for the next challenge without necessarily needing a video tutorial. Now, breaking out of tutorial hell isn't just about becoming a better coder. It's about building confidence in your ability to learn independently. Trust me, the satisfaction you'll feel after completing your first project from scratch is worth every moment of struggle. And once you have broken free, you'll realize that tutorials are just a tool, not a crutch.